for Oshawa.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And I, as the infrastructure critic for the official opposition, have had the opportunity to stand in this House and debate this bill in a 1-hour lead, sit at committee and hear from Ontarians, and now again put the same question, frankly, that I put at the beginning of this debate is, what is this bill seeking to measurably fix? So if we had $1 for every time the minister used the word optimization, we almost could have paid for the parking structure at Ontario Place. But I don't tangibly know what that means. I understand optimize is making it better, but in what way will this bill make the realty portfolio in the province measurably optimized? Thank you.
Good question. Response, I recognize the Minister of Infrastructure.
Well, thank you very much to the member for the question. In my remarks, I mentioned that we are one of the largest real estate portfolios in North America. And I would argue, given the fact that we own such a diverse portfolio of physical assets, that we should probably pay close attention to it, because number one, it costs money to maintain those buildings. Number two, we have to keep our workers safe. Number three, through modernization of workplaces and technology, we want to provide the best environment for our workers. And number four, we also want to make sure that we have a good view of all of the real estate within this portfolio so that we can manage it well. If there is an opportunity for a building to be used by government for some other purpose, we would have insight. I guess the members opposite the NDP don't think that 43 million square feet of office space and government assets is important, but we on the other side are fiscally prudent, good managers, and we do find that very important.
For the question.
Thank you very much, Speaker. To the minister's point, this is a bill that takes more of the gems or the properties and brings it under that government umbrella. So Infrastructure Ontario, I guess. But the Ontario Science Centre being one that folks have talked about in this space, and I'm looking forward to my 1-hour lead and delving more into that. But the Royal Ontario Museum, the McMichael Canadian Art Collection, Science North, when the minister talks about there might be other opportunities for the province, does she have something in mind for those?
Good question. Back to the Minister of Infrastructure for response.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. In my remarks, I clearly identified the fact that should these institutions and or agencies want to sell or purchase real estate, that they simply notify the minister responsible and or seek an LGAC, which could include conditions as a part of it. We just want to know if there is an agency or institution, when they are selling or buying real estate, we want to know. Because if there is some other purpose that government can use this real estate for, be it long-term care, be it affordable housing, be it providing additional space for Service Ontario or anything else, then we may have that opportunity, but we wouldn't know if we weren't notified. That's all this is doing, is just for us to have some insight on realty decisions moving forward.
For the questions, I recognize the member from Oshawa. Oh, I apologize. No, I'm going to stick with the member for Oshawa, and then I will.
Thank you. In terms of the government being able to put eyes on or to be notified or to have insight into, I don't disagree that we hope that the government has insight into big provincial decisions, but Infrastructure Ontario had previously taken over the property management of the Ontario Science Centre, and they failed to do the necessary repairs. One would imagine that the government would know about that, since Infrastructure Ontario is the de facto landlord, and allowing this neglect to unfold. One can only surmise why. So I guess if they're looking to have insight, they already had it, and we have Infrastructure Ontario who had already proven to be a bad landlord. So how come we're giving them more provincial treasures to be responsible for? Thank you.
Response. I recognize the Minister of Infrastructure.
Thank you. Well, I would like to remind the member opposite that the Science Centre is it's quite an old asset. It's over 50 years old. I would also like to remind the members opposite that there were multiple studies that were conducted previous to becoming the minister that clearly outlined the necessary need in repairs and deferred maintenance. That was very significant in cost, which is why, while we were redeveloping Ontario Place and we presented the vision, it included a brand new facility because the old one is so old, it requires so much maintenance that it is in fact more cost effective to build a new science centre, which was supported by the AG report last year. The AG report stated that to be true, and the AG report also confirmed the fact that the Science Centre needed new exhibits because they haven't been updated for 10 or more years.
Further questions? Further questions? Further questions? I reckon